After Wisconsin played Kentucky in the Final Four last week, Andrew Harrison of the Kentucky Wildcats used an obscenity and a racial slur at the post-game press conference. The comments were directed towards Frank Kaminsky of the Wisconsin Badgers. Harrison's comments went viral, and ESPN commentators had a field day. Harrison quickly tweeted out an apology for his comments, citing that he has a good friendship with Kaminsky and that the comments were made in jest. This has become a new norm for athletes. They take to Twitter to apologize, to celebrate a win, or to interact with fans. Thousands of athletes now have Twitter accounts, and they use it to communicate with the world. Athletes are always being written about by the media, but Twitter allows athletes to speak for themselves. Twitter has really become an epicenter for breaking news in sports and allows for discussion between athletes, the fans, and the media. When an athlete tweets something about a game or even about a social issue, the fans can respond and the athlete is able to see it. Oftentimes, athletes will respond back to their fans too. Twitter has also become an important place to find breaking news. Media outlets like ESPN rely a lot on Twitter to find interesting stories about athletes. An athlete's Twitter account gives ESPN direct access to what the athlete is feeling or thinking, and they can use the 140-character quote in their broadcasts. ESPN has used Twitter quotes substantially more in their broadcasts over the past couple years. They realize that Twitter helps fans feel like they actually know an athlete because they can follow their life through Twitter. Shaquille O'Neal was the first athlete to become verified on Twitter. He has said that the reason he established a Twitter account was because he wanted to interact directly with his fans. The verification process on Twitter has helped fans know they are following the real athlete. Early on, athletes and media correspondents were actually impersonated on Twitter, and fans believed they were following the actual person. This began to tarnish the reputation of many athletes and well-known journalists. Once the real athletes and journalists were able to be verified, though, impersonators had no chance. Even though Twitter creates a direct line of connection between athletes and their fans, there are dangers that exist because Twitter provides access to an athlete's thoughts and feelings, which can really get athletes in trouble if they are not careful. Many athletes have used Twitter with the mindset that they can say whatever they want with no repercussions, but that is no longer the case. Recently, a Bloomsburg University baseball player was cut from the team because he posted a vulgar and offensive tweet about Mo'ne Davis, the Little League superstar. Athletes are held responsible for their posts on Twitter, so they have to really think about what they are going to say before they post it. But that is easier said than done for many athletes who feel strongly about a social issue or even the way referees called a game. Athletes can even get in trouble for celebrating a win. This was the case with Brandon Jennings of the Milwaukee Bucks in his rookie year. He was fined $7,500 for celebrating his team's win right after the game by posting on Twitter. There's a rule in the NBA that 45 minutes before and after the game are set aside for outside media, and he posted within that time, which meant he broke the rules and was fined. Another instance where Twitter has gotten an athlete in trouble involved running back Larry Johnson. He was fined $213,000 and kicked off the Kansas City Chiefs after he used a gay slur in response to a fan on Twitter. Clearly, Twitter has the potential to provide amazing interaction between athletes and their fans. But Twitter also has the potential to ruin an athlete's career or get them seriously fined with a single tweet. All things considered, Twitter has changed the way fans interact with athletes. The gap that separated radical fans from the athletes they love has disappeared. Fans can actually communicate with their favorite players. They can also know where athletes are and what they are doing every moment of the day by following them on Twitter. Athletes have utilized this powerful form of social media to develop respect and popularity. Twitter is also dangerous, though. Athletes can get in trouble for being too open in their posts or for making vulgar comments that offend people. There's a fine line between using Twitter for connection with fans and still being smart about what to post. But Twitter has really developed into one of the most popular forms of sport communication, especially for athletes.